All right, Avengers, here's the game plan. I'm going to destroy half this planet, whether you like it or not, man, just with a snap of the old fingers. The thing is, I only got about 3 infinity stones, and I got to pump those numbers up. So me and my telekinetic pals, my demi-gods, man, the OGs, what's up, brother? We're going to destroy you all, grab the stones, snap my fingers, and keep on moving on, man. Because the thing is, I am inevitable, brother. Phew.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Monday, May 3rd, hashtag full squad. I'm J.E. Skeets, along with me, Mr. What You Need to Know, Tass Mellis.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Jesse. We got the top shot hot boy, Trey Kirby.
Hey,
The international man of mystery, taking it to the max, Lee Ellis.
friend.
And last but not least, making the magic happen is JD.
Hello.
There he is. Here we are on a Monday. Shout out to the stream team for joining us live right now on YouTube. Smash that like button, leave your comments, and subscribe to No Dunks on YouTube. Email us your questions and comments for Wednesday's Beach Steppin' Podcast. Email them in, nodunks@theathletic.com. You can tweet them in at NoDunksInc. Leave them in the YouTube comments as we hit the beach later this week to read your emails and tweets. And grab your merch over at nodunks.com. We got tweet of the night. We're going to start up a new little mini pick'em battle, all right? And naturally, we've got your NBA weekend winners and losers. But first things first, once again, the wedgies are coming. Though this one, number 45, little controversial again here. We're going to show it to you. It's a quick one. Don't blink. Oh, Terrence Davis fouled, and then it definitely wedges.
1,001.
And then it does drop. So, some people were like, what? Are you counting this? They called it a wedgie basically on the broadcast. So far, it's up on wedgietracker.com, so it's official right now. Does anybody really want to challenge this one? Throw the flag here. Lee's shaking his head. He's good with it.
Good, hard-fought wedgie there. The guy went up, Terrence Davis went up. He wanted to make a play, and it wedged in. Doesn't matter how long it wedges in. If you get half a second, that's a wedgie. That's a good percentage wedgie. I like it. Count it.
Tass, you okay with it?
I will say this has never happened since we've started tracking wedgies, where we've had a wedgie that was sort of part of the play, but it kind of happened after the whistle, and then it slipped out. Usually the ones that we count that are after the whistle, which are, let's say, a guy driving, he gets hit, throws it up, it's a foul, but it wedges and it sticks in. This one slipped out, and it wasn't an actual wedgie that created a jump ball, so it's unprecedented. We haven't seen one like this. Now, I mean, it's a wedgie, and it really was definitely solidified by the broadcaster calling it a wedgie. Yeah. So it's kind of hard to get away from it, right?
Trey, any thoughts on this one?
If the whistle is blown, the wedgie is shown. And one!
All right.
I'm willing to count anything this year. It's a special year for wedgies, so let's count all the controversial ones.
Okay, so that was number 45, and then we followed it up on Sunday with number 46. And this is the Celtics broadcast, and I want you to listen closely to Brian Scalabrine on the call and his comments about this one. Roll it, Judy.
Strong move to the hoop, gets wedged in there, and there's be a jump ball.
My son loves watching YouTube, and for whatever reason, I'm always coming in the living room, and plays like that happen in the NBA all the time. This will be on that drive and stuck. I don't know if I've ever seen that before in transition.
Wow. So, okay, that's number 46. Fantastic. But guys, I'm not making this up, right? Scalabrine was basically saying his son either watches the starters or still watches No Dunks, or maybe hopefully a combo of both, right? I mean, that's what he's alluding to here. Our show where he walks in on his son watching wedgies online, which sounds sort of like something else possibly. But
could be worse, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless there's a bootleg show we don't know about out there also tracking wedgies. I mean, I guess it's possible, but you know what this means, Scal. You got to come on the show, man. You got to come
absolutely.
on. I mean, your son watches a show. You want to be a star in your son's eyes? Come on the show. Open invitation.
Okay, excellent. So that's 46, guys. We're up to. This is amazing. Let's show you wedgietracker.com. There it is. We are on pace for 56. That does include, potential playoff games because we do count wedges in the playoffs. But this is crazy. The goal is really to hit 50. That's a celebration, but we're setting the all-time wedgie record. So another great weekend. Man, I can't think of many weekends that we've had in the NBA this year where we didn't show up on Monday and at least have one or two.
Very rare.
To show you guys. Scalabrini's son is loving it. Every Monday he's checking out these wedgies here. So
the stream team's asking, is Scalabrini's son in the stream team? Show yourself.
Oh, wow.
Trying to crack the case. Is it you, 4 morning poops?
Wow. I hadn't even thought about that. No, you're really blowing my mind.
You
lately.
dream shake?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Scalabrini went on to say, these wedgies happen all the time. And I think that's just a little moment in time. That's a little capsule. Just shows us that we're changing the world, because broadcasters would always say, including on the Celtics broadcast. I think I've heard Scalabrini's partner, Mike Gorman, say, these things don't happen all the time. And this is the change that's happening because we're getting them on YouTube. The kids are seeing them. Scalabrini's son. I'm not sure how old he is. Show up, Scalabrini's son. Pipe up. Where are you? Speak up. Tell us who you are. The freaking champion. Own it right now, man. You're the one making it popular with your dad. And now on the broadcast in turn.
Yeah, I should say, too, that was obviously the Blazers-Celtics game. So Lamar Hurd, the wedgie whisperer, was on the call for Portland, and people were saying Lamar was once again giving a shout-out to wedgietracker.com. So that's our guy. Shout out to Lamar. That was the quickest one I could find, though, the Celtics one, when I posted that last night. But, yeah, he's the true wedgie whisperer. This is the reason this is all happening. Lamar is talking it into existence. You got to love it. Anyway, let's get to some NBA weekend winners. Then we'll get to the losers. Tass, you're going to get us started here today. Who's your big NBA weekend winner?
For me, because there I am.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm here. The NBA is a winner this weekend because LeBron James was upset about potentially playing in the play-in tournament, but in turn, he just made it more popular. Now everybody's talking about it. So this is what LeBron said after he lost to the Toronto Raptors on Sunday night on the play-in tournament. He said, quote, "Whoever came up with that shit needs to be fired."
Wow.
It ain't going anywhere. LeBron knows it. Everybody knows it. Just think about the play-in tournament that we're getting in 2 weeks. Steph Curry's going to be in it. John Morant's going to be in it. LaMelo's going to be in it. And then one of LeBron, Dame, or Luka's going to be in it, depending on how the Blazers, Lakers, Mavericks little trio there falls into the standings. And it's going to be tough sledding for the Lakers because they've got a tough schedule. And yeah, I guess LeBron's upset because he may have to play 1 or 2 extra games, but I think he can thank Adam Silver and the person who came up with this. Don't fire either of those guys. I think for him, he should be happy because the Lakers are struggling and they have lost 2 in a row with LeBron back, and they're 1-5 since Anthony Davis came back. I think the extra 1 or 2 games only helps them. I know it sounds kind of dumb and sounds like nothing, but when they go play whoever it is in the first actual round of the playoffs, they need to be playing well. I don't think you can give up a game like LeBron tends to do at the beginning of a series and then not be playing well in general. You can give up 1 game if you're LeBron James, but you just can't be playing poorly in general. So I don't think it's a problem for him to get a game or an extra one here with a couple games before the playoffs, especially because the way they've been playing. They need to be playing better, and I think it only solidifies the future of this play-in tournament. I know it devalues the regular season, and you look at it, and it's like 20 teams need to make this thing out of the 30 teams when you kind of step back. But if there is a trade-off between losing a few regular season games like we're getting this year because of COVID-19, down to 72. Hopefully there is some balance there where we do lose a few games and we don't have to get to 82, because I can understand people being pissed off. Seems like people are only pissed off like LeBron when they're in danger of playing in the play-in tournament.
Yeah.
But he's going to enjoy it. He's going to love it when he sits back and watches those games, because we know he's a diehard NBA League Pass man, but those games make money for the league. And the easy solution is just finish top 6, and they're just going to have to turn it on quicker. LeBron is playing; he loves the feel-in games, and he just can't do that. He can't do that during the regular season now. But these last games, Nuggets, Clippers, Blazers, Suns, and Knicks are the next 5 for the Lakers, and they've got 2 back-to-backs amongst their 8 last games. They just have to pick it up. I think it's great, actually. I kind of go back and forth on this play-in tournament, but when it comes down to it, it's going to be entertaining basketball, and the best team should win out. And that's that.
Trey, what do you think? I mean, we're on record here as basically a collective as No Dunks loving the play-in tournament because we make an NBA show daily. And we're talking about all these teams at the bottom of these races and jockeying for position and trying to get in. But yeah, is it funny timing here from LeBron now that they're in jeopardy of falling into the play-in tournament? Just like the Mavericks not too long ago, Luka and Cuban saying similar things. What do you think?
Everybody loves the play-in tournament until they're in the play-in tournament.
Yep.
That's just how it goes. We got to ask players at the beginning of the season, get it down in writing exactly what you think of the play-in tournament, because there's a chance you might be in it later. I will say I give the Lakers' complaints a little bit more weight here since they've had so many injuries, and they went the deepest in the playoffs last year, had the quick turnaround, obviously. 71 days, I think it was, from the end of last season to the start of this season. They were going to be kind of behind the 8 ball for the most part, but I mean, between actually following these races, you know, it feels like at this point, perhaps the race for the 10th seed in both conferences is probably over. Now we're talking about the 6 and 7 seeds and the drama that comes from the players that don't want to play in it. It's a content factory, and we haven't even gotten to the play-in tournament, so this thing is sticking around. But when LeBron talks, his words carry a lot of weight. So whoever came up with that might be getting fired today.
You know what it reminds me of a little bit, Trey? It's like watching an F1 race where a lot of the time you're not even that focused on who's winning the race because for whatever reason, you know, Mercedes kicking ass, Hamilton winning again, whatever. It's like they're trying to sell you. And it's interesting races like within like, oh, the 7th and 8th spot. Oh, 10th to get into the points and stuff like that. This is sort of what this is for me now that I think about it. And I love both of them. Like they somehow have me like convinced when I'm watching an F1 race, like, ooh, damn, that 4th, 5th position there, that's important. You know, those are points to be had.
Skeets, I was going crazy yesterday when Mick Schumacher passed Nicholas Latifi to move from 18th into 17th.
Wow.
Go for it, Mick. You got him.
Wow.
This is exactly the same. We're talking, especially in the Eastern Conference, we have been hardcore following a bunch of teams that are 8 to 10 games under 500, and it's been thrilling. Just like Mick Schumacher making that move. There's things to watch right now where generally, you know, teams would be shutting things down completely here or, you know, locking it down saying we're just going to be happy with whatever seed we got. At this point, LeBron's just thinking, I don't want to have to play in a series where I can't take a feel-out game. You can't take a feel-out game in the play-in tournament. You got to win that first one.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
I
right.
guess you can lose the first one and then win the second one. Then
Yeah, fair point.
Yeah.
Risky.
True.
It's risky. And let's say they win the title after making the play-in tournament. Then you can't get rid of it. It's there forever. Right? Like a team actually made the play-in tournament and then won the championship, which the Lakers could do. I mean, that only just strengthens the league's position. Like, right?
I would think so.
Yeah, it's LeBron versus Steph in the play-in tournament. They're like, sorry, this is going to stay around for the entirety of NBA history from now on. If you get two of the most marketable stars the second time you ever do it, come on.
Yeah.
Lee, what do you think? I mean, again, you're on record saying you're loving this just because we get to sort of have all this content to talk about. But, you know, people are like going crazy on LeBron here today. A lot of people are like, come on. You basically said you liked it last year, the play-in tournament. Like when you weren't in it. Yeah, like I'm not even making that up. I'm not even stretching his words there. You were in favor of it because you were not in it. And now I know it's like the whole bubble situation. It's a little bit of a different circumstance. But yeah, should LeBron, like Luka, rightfully be getting sort of ripped here by some fans and some of the media?
I think so, because LeBron would be automatically favorite to come out of that play-in tournament if he was in. There's no question. If they're healthy, if him and Anthony Davis are there, no one would honestly think that the Lakers are going to lose that because it's LeBron. He carries that aura with him. And, you know, him saying the person who come up with it should get fired. I mean, isn't this basically Adam Silver's whole sort of thing? Like he wants to try to create these extra little games and incentives for teams to stay in it, kind of like a soccer model. So he's really having a shot at Adam Silver and saying getting fired for changing up things. Like that's just far too extreme. LeBron, I think, is obviously just pissed that the Lakers have dropped a couple of games here since he's come back. They haven't been able to win. They've blown leads as well.
He's hurt again, possibly too.
He's hurt again, yeah. So you know, and he said he may not ever be healthy again as well after sitting out so long. I think that was the longest time he's ever missed for an injury. But ultimately, this, you know, the NBA needs to try to experiment with these things. And so far, through one example last season in the bubble, it has worked tremendously. And this season, what we're seeing is it's not just, okay, when the play-in tournament happens, people start talking about it. As you guys are saying there, we've been kind of talking about it now for the last month or so. It's been exciting. Some teams look like they're going to avoid it. Others look like, oh, they could maybe sneak in and grab even home court if you get in there for that one game playoff. So this is actually fantastic for the league, because it is creating interest that down in the lower levels of the playoff races. And I think that's very, very important. And LeBron, his voice does carry a lot of weight in the NBA. But in this case, I think the NBA would just be sitting back going, this is perfect. LeBron's bringing even more focus to this.
That's what Taz said. That's why he's giving him the NBA winner of the weekend for LeBron.
So that's what they want.
The guy should be fired.
I'm surprised LeBron isn't just sort of taking a different approach. Like, I don't care who we play, where we play. I'm LeBron. I'm going to win that play-in tournament anyway. That's something Michael never did. He can add that to his legacy there. So it sounds more like LeBron's just kind of like, wow, I thought we wouldn't have lost to the Kings. And then the Raptors went in there and also spanked them last night. So it's more, I think LeBron's just a little frustrated that the time he went out, the team really did fall back, and he's in a position where he has to think about the race. I think he was hoping maybe they were, 3 or 4 games clear, and maybe they wouldn't have home court advantage, but they wouldn't be in this position. But ultimately, LeBron, he's great. He's a legend. He does so many fantastic things, but this time he's on the wrong side of the equation. So he deserves to be criticized for it.
All right. Well, I'll keep it going here for winner of the weekend. I guess it's along the same lines in a strange way, but I think No Dunks is a winner of the weekend because we are here with a daily show to help try and keep track of everything that's going to happen here over the final 2 weeks. And what I mean by that is over the last 48 hours in the Western Conference alone, every seed changed except the 8th seed. That's how much action is going on here and teams going up and slipping and in the play-in and then now when they're not and stuff like that. But specifically over the weekend, we had the Suns and the Sixers taking over the number 1 seed in their respective conferences there in the West and the East. The Suns, 2 more wins this weekend, big one on Friday night, playing the shorthanded Jazz, no doubt, but took care of business, 121-100. Booker was awesome, 13 and 19 from the field, step back jumper after step back jumper there. Had Rudy Gobert dancing there. That was one of the highlights of the year in terms of just straight up handles and getting a guy that might win Defensive Player of the Year, stumbling and bumbling and doing Olay over there as he hit the step back jumper in front of his bench. But yeah, Suns just looking still phenomenal. I really hadn't thought about it, but they've been so healthy this year with their main guys. Ayton and Bridges have played all 63 games. CP3 has played 62. He's only missed 1 game, Chris Paul. And Booker's been available for 59. Now, they've had guys in their second unit miss games here and there, but, their core there playing a lot, and that's helped them get right now the best record in the Western Conference. The Sixers, they beat the Hawks on Friday night and then outlasted the shorthanded Spurs on Sunday. Ben Simmons, Lele, your mate there, tipping in the game winner off the Embiid miss, right spot, right time. It reminded me, didn't Simmons have a game-tying put back off a missed free throw against the Heat a couple of years ago? You guys remember that?
Yeah.
It was someone is at the line and he came screaming in from the 3-point line and tipped it in. I think it went to overtime. But anyway, it was Ben Simmons. You don't usually get to say Ben Simmons a game-winning shot often. In fact, maybe that's the first time there because you're not going to him at the end of the game to hit the step-back jumper over somebody, but got the tip in, Lele.
Yeah, great. He didn't have a great game, but you're right. They're not going to go to him to shoot the ball, but Joel Embiid was there, rimmed out, and Simo using his height and his athleticism to be there. And classic. That's a game winner. That's all that counts. And classic. For the Spurs, shorthanded as well, rested after they got embarrassed on Friday night, giving up that lead. They're in a tight race still. Not a good weekend for them, but I'm sort of a little surprised they decided to rest guys in that situation. But we know that teams, if the sports scientists say you got to rest these guys now, that's what they do. But a little unusual, but still battle to the end there. I mean, they had this game, could have won this game, but Sixers get it done in the end. Yeah,
Sixers looking pretty here too for that number 1 seed because only one of their final 8 games is against a top team really in either conference. They play the Heat. And then otherwise they play a lot of the teams that are actually outside of the playoffs right now. So they could, in theory, really, really grab hold of this number 1 seed. And that I think is super important in the Eastern Conference, as we've talked about a million times, especially after what we just saw, nice game between the Bucks and the Nets there going head to head, looking like a playoff game. So entertaining. It's let 2 of those teams do that in the second round and hopefully meet up with the winner in the conference final. So the Sixers are in the driver's seat, no doubt. Then just other couple races to point out here. We had the Heat climb out of the play-in spot right now, so that's big. They got 2 road wins this weekend versus the Cavs, versus the Hornets. Dragic, he said Sunday night's game felt like a playoff game. They're playing Charlotte there. Miami played really well. 30 assists, 45 made baskets. They did work in the paint on Charlotte. So that's big. So they're up to 6th, and the Celtics are now down to 7th. And then we have the Nuggets also climb up to the 3rd seed. They beat the Clippers on Saturday night. Good win, 110-104. Jokic, 30 points, 14 boards. Porter, 25 again. This guy is like suddenly legit star on this Denver team, and they've won 5 straight. They're 9-1 since Jamal Murray went down with that torn ACL. So yeah, a lot of movement, and I'll just show you this right now, guys. Like, this is the playoff picture as of Monday morning here, and this breaks it all down. You got the teams in the play-in tournaments there and where they would go. But again, a lot of movement in the West, some in the East, and you're going to look at this here today, and by tomorrow or by Wednesday or whenever, this could be completely different. And this is very, very exciting. So we're the big winners, guys. Tass, you must love that, right?
I love it. I love it. I love seeing these brackets, baby. I just keep looking at that Western Conference. Like, the Lakers, if they fall down, they'll be sort of in a 1-1, like it's a college free throw guy going to the free throw stripe. You miss your first one. Actually, it's the opposite of a 1-on-1. I take it back. If the Lakers are in the 7-8 game, I thought I had a great analogy there for you. That did not work. But if the Lakers are in the 7th, 8th seed and they miss their first one, they get a second shot. And then they could be the 8th seed if they actually go to that second game. And then they would play Chris Paul and the Phoenix Suns. It sure looks like the Suns, as you said, Skeet's passing the Jazz there. You got to be ready if you're the Lakers to play Chris Paul and the Suns, because they're just playing so well. So I like it for the fact that the Lakers are going to have to pick it up here. It's like, everything is becoming a little bit more engaging. It amps everything up just a touch. The dial's just up a little bit more for these last couple of weeks. I thought it would just be the play-in tournament that we'd get excited. Okay, 1 or 2 games. This is baseball, baby. The single elimination games that they added in baseball. But at these last couple of weeks too, we're showing that bracket every single day. So it gets a little exciting. And thanks to John Schumann for fixing that bracket. You're not getting fired, John Schumann, at NBA.com, because you're making things happen.
Oh, that was a nice update there. They had like in theory, who you'd be playing there in the actual playoffs sort of in the wrong order. And Schumann was all over it. He either did it himself because he's great with that type of code, or he sent a good email and got it done. But Trey, hey, look, we had it was spike ball season here this weekend. We're all double vaxxed to the max. Beautiful weather. We fired up spike ball. But one of the topics that came up with my buddy Grish is, would you take the Lakers to defend the title, or would you take the field? And really, you can only ask that because it's like, are you going to bet against LeBron James? I mean, people have done it before and looked a fool for it. But what was your answer? I can't remember. Would you take the Lakers still, or would you take the field to win the title this year?
Well, just like it was spike ball season, I was ready to take the field, Skeets. It felt so good to be out there, and I would still stick with the field right now, just because the Lakers feel like, despite the fact that they have LeBron and AD back, neither of them are playing that well. And LeBron is saying he's still going to be hurt for maybe the remainder of the season, which, if it's anybody else, maybe you're a lot worried about that. But LeBron, the guy up until now, has been, if you sprain an ankle, just tie it tighter and you're good to go. But I feel like other teams have been playing so well this season that it's hard to call the Lakers the favorites when we haven't seen them be at full strength, playing at their best for about 2 months. Because, they were 21-6, something like that, when AD finally went out. Clearly, they were the best team in the league at that point. But I think that over the course of these 2 months where they've been dealing with injuries, other teams have showed up and said, we are at least as good as the Lakers were at their peak. We'll see how that all plays out in the playoffs when there's a lot more pressure on people and where LeBron is actually going to be playing, and he's probably not all that hurt. But it doesn't feel like there's a favorite right now. You could pick 8 different teams that have just as good of a chance as winning. You show that playoff picture and you're like, wow, the Nuggets have been great so far this season. Once Jamal Murray went down, I think they're still a title contender unless they draw the Lakers in the first round. That's a tough one. But I think all things considered, you got to go with the field just because we haven't seen the Lakers at their best right now. And when they've looked bad recently, they've looked pretty bad, really bad, not on the same page, super rusty from their stars, and trying to figure things out with their rotation that you would hope is already figured out when the play-in tournament's starting in 2 weeks.
Lily, let's go to you for your big NBA winner of the weekend.
Well, last Monday, I had the Blazers as a loser because they just dropped a pair of home games to the Grizzlies. They dropped 7 of 8, 5 in a row. Lillard was looking fatigued and he looked injured, and they were about to go on a big, long road trip. Well, 4-0 on that road trip so far, and 2 big wins over the weekend. Friday night, Lillard, 8 threes, 32 points, 9 assists, and they ended up pretty much blowing out the Nets in the end. No Kevin Durant or James Harden, who's still out, but Kyrie Irving was there. Still a very impressive performance from Portland. They need every win they can right now. And then last night, Lillard was good again, but CJ McCollum, 33 points, led the way, a huge victory over the Boston Celtics again on the road. This one also ended up being a double-digit win, but it was only a 2-point game with just over a minute to go in this one. So, you know, the Blazers pulling it out in that sort of playoff atmosphere type vibe where, you know, how are you going to end the game? And they do that. So, again, after dropping 7 of 8, they've won 4 in a row and are averaging scoring exactly 130 points. Their offense really is humming right now, getting contributions from everyone. I thought Nurkic was very good again last night. Didn't have a huge offensive game, but I just think he's playing that role very well. And they've pulled themselves into a tie now with the Mavericks and Lakers for 5th, but they sit 7th. A little bit weird because they have the tiebreaker over the Mavericks too. They won that series 2-1, and they're split with the Lakers at 1-1. They do have that deciding game with the Lakers in 3 or 4 days' time here. So that game is going to be huge if they do hold the tiebreaker over both the Lakers and the Mavs for that 5th spot or 6th spot in the Western Conference. That's going to be massive. But mainly, Damian Lillard, like I say, I thought the workload was starting to catch up to him a little bit this season. He just, you know, he had a bit of a hamstring injury. And instead, he's come out and, you know, they absolutely destroyed the Pacers this week. Then they got revenge against the Grizzlies by also blowing them out on the road. And then again, a huge win on Friday night against the Nets. And then last night also just closed it. So they're in actually Atlanta today, I think it is, for a game. They've really turned it around in 1 week. They've turned it around. So good. Terry Stotts is great, coach of the year. But, you know, just how quickly things can change because you can look at a team and like we're kind of looking at the Lakers right now, it's like, wow, they just are playing badly. But it can only take maybe 1 or 2 wins and people start feeling good and they get that momentum going and they start playing better. So it could quickly change. And I'm very surprised to see the Blazers looking so fresh and healthy. I just thought they were looking a little bit heavy-legged and a bit sluggish, but instead, they're playing some really good basketball. Certainly this week they have been.
Well, they had all those demoralizing losses too, though, right? I mean, They weren't getting really blown out. They were losing by 1 point every time, like one shot here or there, and they kept coming up with the L. But yeah, they have stormed back. I saw Ghostface Ziller in his newsletter, like breaking down the tiebreakers, Lee. It's wild, man, because like you said, the 5, 6, 7 here, Dallas owns the tiebreaker over the Lakers. Portland owns the tiebreaker over Dallas. And then the Blazers-Lakers tiebreaker, like you said, will be decided on Friday in a head-to-head battle. But there's this crazy wrinkle to this one that if the season ends with a 3-way tie between these 3 teams, the Blazers' head-to-head tiebreaker against Dallas doesn't matter because the Mavericks will have won their division, the Southwest Division. So that's that weird thing here.
I didn't read.
But that's only in the way of a 3-way tie between these 3 teams, which is very possible. So yeah, it gets insane. I mean, Ziller he went deep on all of these, like who's got it if this happens, and if this happens, who's got it. But yeah, you can go blind looking at that thing. Though he did great work there. So yeah, Blazers thought we're dead there, Trey, and here they are. They're right back in it. I mean, something with Dame Lillard, man. Like he just flourishes when he's written off. Like,
That's exactly right.
When you're ready to count them out, you're like, oh, okay, that's good. This is when I shine now.
Yeah, that's exactly right, because you wouldn't expect them really to get either of the wins they got over the weekend, especially considering that they've been playing pretty poorly going into this road trip, and suddenly they're solidifying a play-in spot and winning 4 straight and looking great, and now they got a couple more winnable ones here, the Hawks and the Cavs. Like, that'd be pretty simple to get a couple more wins. There goes 6-0 on a road trip when everybody was thinking that it's time to blow the team up. Well done to the Blazers, but you're exactly right. As soon as you think they're done, that's when they are at their best. Everybody goes out with injuries, and then it's suddenly Dame time. He's hitting every shot. They're winning these games by 1. Everybody's healthy. They're losing them by 1. Oh, they're done. Nope. So like I said, I'm going to flip-flop on this every single time between the Mavericks and the Blazers. How can you not? How can you not? Certainly the Blazers won the weekend between those 2 teams.
Lee, I know some Beantown boys and girls were upset with the some of the calls made there in that game on Sunday. Do they have a right to be upset?
No, because it was, I think it was Pritchard.
Yeah, you're talking about the charge one?
Yeah, who was in the paint, and they got away with one there, but the Blazers couldn't challenge. And now, what was the other one there? Because this game,
dunk, Tristan Thompson.
That's right. That Tristan Thompson dunk, that got called offensive interference. Now, yes, in that instance, that was a terrible call.
Yeah.
Now, this is one question I had about that, because sometimes a guy will say hit a 3-pointer, and then in the next timeout, TV break, they go and check and they can change it.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't they do it with something like that? I don't understand how that one just is like, well, sorry, we blew that call and that's it. I mean, it's a basket.
Sorry.
And that was so badly, because just before that, I think it was Neesmith kind of tipped one in that was a goaltending. So it was almost like the follow-up play, they did that again. So, that one, yes, Beantown boys, clearly upset. But the other one they got away with. So these things tend to just even out, and yeah.
I think you have the whole Smart getting Nurk in the old Hibberts there, sort of accidentally.
Yeah.
I do
and
think
then he ends up getting ejected.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was one of those plays. That's what he sort of sold it. But then Nurkic did move. I mean, bang bang. Every play's a bang bang play.
Bang
these
bang.
days
Nut
in the
nut.
NBA.
Testy.
Scal, actually, speaking of Scalabrini, he wanted the I think he said 24 seconds only for a review, which is like, I think everyone's like, yeah, we need to find a quicker way to do it, because they did.
Oh, that Smart one took forever.
Yes,
that one took so long. Oh my god.
Yes,
I mean, I get it. They want to get it right, but at a certain point, it's brutal. Anyway, we don't need to.
I think DC in the stream team said it took 6 minutes and 45 seconds on the Marcus Smart.
That's longer.
Way too long.
Yeah.
I thought it was 10 minutes plus. Okay.
I thought they went to the review board to check on that Tristan Thompson dunk because they had never seen him jump so high in his life. That guy was skying for the tip dunk, and they took it away just like that.
Okay. I know the Beantown boys were upset there, at least in our Twitter feed this morning. You better talk about this game. Oh, we got robbed. But Lee says, come on, it all evens out. You're right about the Pritchard one. They got away with that one, but that was an entertaining game. Anyway, Trey, who's your NBA weekend winner?
Oh, remember the Orlando Magic? Remember those guys? They were looking like losers for this weekend. Lost to the Grizzlies on Friday, and Memphis won despite shooting just 34% from the field. The Magic shot 31% from the floor, had 20 turnovers and 16 assists. A final score 92-75 for the Grizzlies on Friday. Pat Garrity versus Bryant Reeves out there. It was looking like another loss in the rematch on Saturday. Grizzlies led by 20 in the third quarter. And Orlando said, not so fast, my friend. Mo Wagner went for 14 in the second half. He hit a huge shot to tie things up late. Dwayne Bacon was sizzling, adding 15 in the second half. The star, though, and my official winner of the weekend, Cole Anthony, 15 points in the fourth quarter. Finished with a career-high 26 on the night, and he capped things off with a buzzer-beating almost. I think there was 0.1 seconds left, so it doesn't technically count. But
get rid of that 0.1. Get out of here.
Get it out of here. Come on. What are we using? Quartz crystals to make sure these things are perfect? I doubt it. Nonetheless, game-winning 3 over Kyle Anderson. The shot was great. The interview afterwards, arguably better. Take a listen.
At the end of the Minnesota game, you said, let the ball come to me because I know I'm going to make it. Was that the same feeling tonight, Cole?
Yeah. Come on. Yeah.
Well, then take us into the huddle. What happened? What was the play? And was that exactly what was drawn up?
Well, man, we had a few plays up. I mean, we had play drawn up before that if the ball had come to us when they was reviewing that joint. And I was honestly in my head like, I really just wanted ISO. Not even going to lie to you. I wanted ISO. I just knew if I got someone on the island, it wasn't going to be safe. That's for real what I knew was happening. But that was the play we drew up. Came off that. Seen I had Kyle Anderson on me. I was like, yeah, it's game time. Trying to get this money.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. 2-game winners this season, though, for Cole Anthony. I don't know. There can't be a lot of rookies that have 2-game winners in their rookie season. This one is arguably even less crazy than the one against the Timberwolves where they just threw a full court pass. He bombs it in. That was a wild one, too. But the Magic, they don't have a ton of wins this year, but they got Cole Anthony winning them a couple of games, and he's great on the mic as well.
Oh, so good. Charismatic, man. We got some charismatic rookies in this class, right? With Anthony Edwards. He's incredible in the post-game interviews, Cole Anthony. He's having a sneaky, good run here, too, Cole Anthony. He's not going to win Rookie of the Year. I'm not going overboard or anything like that. But he's, he's going to probably make do they still do all rookie teams? That's still a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably going to be in the mix for he'll at least make the second one if he doesn't make the first one.
Sure.
Yeah, 2 game winners, and he missed a bunch of time this season. And he's just hot on the mic. You gotta love those vibes when he gets on there. Yeah, him and Anthony Edwards, 2 rooks that, I mean, they don't lack confidence, that's for sure.
No.
Those guys can be, they can be spokesmen for the league. They're so good on the mic. They're great. Love their vibes, their energy here on a Monday. Can't deny it.
Lee, you probably hated that Cole Anthony shot though, eh? You didn't like it, right? You can be honest.
No, it was fine. He didn't have much else, did he? Really?
No. I'm just kidding. You're always saying go to the rim.
Well,
it was a bit of a prayer, right? Like because he's not set, but a hell of a shot, no doubt.
There was 2 guys there. He didn't have much time. He had to just basically fire it away. So he knocked it in. But I'm actually there's a stat here. I'm just trying to read it on the fly. I know you love this, Skeetsy. But since the 96-97, only 3 NBA rookies in their rookie campaign have made 2 or more last-second game-winning shots.
Okay.
Now, you'll get one because in fact, you'll get both of them. One was Rookie of the Year, I believe, but he had a very quick decline and is no longer in the league.
Tyreek Evans?
Tyreek Evans. And the other one was is very close
Damon
to us
Stoudemire?
here. No, very close to us here in Atlanta.
Trae Young?
Trae Young, yeah.
Nice. Game winners. Nice.
Yeah, so there you go. And Peyton Pritchard also had 1 game-winning layup. So this season, there.
Yeah, he had a tip in early on.
Excellent.
Yeah, against the Heat.
Well, speaking of rookies, just little mini winners of the weekend. LaMelo Ball back in our lives. That's great. Back to action with the Hornets and was coming through with the highlights already. Like, I mean, what do you have? Like 3 or 4 like incredible highlights in his last 2 games here. Had the switch in midair with the layup. He had like that underhand like cornhole toss pass ahead. He had the football pass ahead. Like, I mean, it's crazy. Like he just comes back and he's just making all these highlights. So that's good. Not that the Hornets were like winning a bunch of games here, but still, Lee, you're loving it, right?
That left-handed layup was so smooth and so beautiful. I was like, what is going on here? Then they had it in the slow-mo replay as well on the NBA Instagram.
It looked awesome. Yeah.
Oh, my God, that is gorgeous. Like, for a guy who, again, worrying about whether or not he could shoot, whether or not he'd be, really actually able to adjust his game to the NBA, he looks so much more mature than any other sort of rookie, and maybe playing against men in Australia was helping him there in that sense. I don't know. I mean, he's a little bit older, I guess, than some rookies.
I think this is pretty, don't get me wrong, but I think we're going a little overboard with this. Like 90% of the guys in the league could do this. I think the passes were crazier. The underhand pass ahead was,
that was crazy.
Tell me when you see that. You just don't see that. That was
the Pete Maravich comparison was being made there. The way that he just hurled it down there. But I mean, it was just so smooth. He is just electrifying to watch. And the Hornets are so much better off when he plays and to watch. And it's just great for the league. It's great for the league for a guy who was so hyped up, to actually go out there and deliver so many things close to what we were hoping to see, but wondered if he could actually deliver is incredible.
I just love following Hornets social media. They'll tweet out a clip from a LaMelo highlight. I think this one was the full court underhand pass. And the first comment afterward is the meme of somebody smashing a button, but on the button it says hum diddly dee.
Oh, yeah.
Eric Collins is just ready to drop a diddly dee on him.
That's good. That's good. A few other mini winners here. I mean, the Giannis versus Durant battle on Sunday. Go back and watch the highlights if you haven't. I mean, an awesome game. Huge win from the Bucks, but Giannis going for 49. What Durant end with 42. Interesting too, Tess, like how the Nets decided to play Giannis, I thought was fascinating. It was like, all right, we're going to put DeAndre Jordan on you for a lot of time. Also, we're just going to back up off you like as many possessions as we can. And Giannis made them pay. But I just wonder, like, will they continue with that type of strategy if they meet in the playoff series? Like this idea of like, just see if Giannis can beat us, because he did on Sunday, but I don't know. Can he do that 4 times in a 7-game series? I don't know.
That man's foot speed against DeAndre Jordan's foot speed, or Blake Griffin's even, he's going to destroy them. He's going to score at will. Steve Nash said after the game, I'm not hiding any schemes, guys. This is just how we're playing. I think Steve Nash is already playing the coach game. I think he's lying. I think he knows that he can't do
secrets?
that.
Really?
Well, he's just gonna, like every other team in the playoffs, like second guy, like the Raptors beat the Bucks, like a second guy to stop Giannis. See, they have nobody. DeAndre Jordan can't keep up. It's like, are you just going to literally just put DeAndre Jordan underneath the hoop? Because that's almost like what it was. It's like Giannis shoot 10-footers. And then when he came out even a few feet, because they were literally playing him one-on-one, Giannis was just able to spin and go to the other side. And like him and Blake, they can't keep up. So, I mean, they just don't have everybody can't do it though. Like everybody is, they try, even like who is the best one-on-one Giannis stopper over the last few playoff seasons. We see it year after year after year. Like Al Horford was decent.
Sure.
But there's always a second guy. That's
right.
I think that's
the Raptors prove that for sure. Yeah, having a bunch of guys.
Or a third guy,
but,
and then let the other Bucks beat you.
I will say, well, that's what I sort of like. I don't mind the strategy is my point. I actually take away the other Bucks if you can. Because if you remember, we used to talk about this with Steve Nash, for crying out loud. Like, hey, make Steve Nash try and beat you. Because he doesn't want to go for 40. He doesn't want to shoot a bunch of threes. This was obviously Nash in his prime in playoff series. And it was the whole thing like, take away Murray, take away Marion, take away everybody else, and make Steve try and go for the 40+. Now, Nash and Giannis are completely different players, but there is some similarities in the sense like Giannis can get in there all the time and then set up guys. But if you can take away those guys, then see if Giannis can beat you like basically single-handedly. Again, worked on Sunday. I don't mind the strategy to some extent, though. I think it's a little fascinating. You'd like to see him probably at the line a lot more if you're going to do that strategy because he's not great there because he only went to the line like, I don't know, what was it, at least six times?
Times,
the box score.
He was making jump shots yesterday. That's the difference.
Right.
He made like 8 jumpers. So, I actually do think the Nets will take their chances with that. To me, the most impressive play Giannis had was like he had a sick up and under where he got somebody jumping and he finished really smooth at the rim. That's where he's going to make his hay in the playoffs because, teams are going to be okay with Giannis taking jumpers. That's better than dunks.
Yeah. Like
I think
4
threes
too in that game.
Yeah. That's the thing. He went 4 for 8 from downtown. And I think, again, if you're the Nets, he's going to take 8 threes. You say, if he makes 4 of them, then good on him. But they'll probably bank on him making. Yep. You're probably only going to make 1 or 2. I mean, 21 for 36. So he took a ton of shots, but it's a good percentage to shoot and finish with 49 points. So, that was a dominant performance. I mean, Durant is probably the most athletic guy and the quickest guy to keep up with him, but you obviously don't want to wear him out having to defend Giannis on one end and then having him put up 42 on the other. So, I mean, that's what sort of Blake should be there for. It's like a physical guy, not as quick, but, to body Giannis when he gets into the paint. But Giannis didn't have any problem with him yesterday.
Drew Holiday locked up, I thought, Kyrie Irving yesterday too. Because, again, I've been talking up Kyrie all season long. Drew was awesome on Kyrie Irving. He is legit incredible perimeter defender. Sorry, Tess, jumped in there.
No, yeah, there is the Nick Claxton factor. They didn't play Nick Claxton, who is their skinny big, who he's definitely got a little more foot speed than DeAndre Jordan or Blake Griffin, but I can see making the comparison between Giannis and Steve Nash. I know they've got like the same amount of athleticism, like they're the exact same player. But yeah, the Nets got the Bucks got the win, and I like they haven't been able to prove that their other supporting cast like Middleton and all those guys have been able to help out Giannis. And Giannis isn't like a natural passer on the move. Like it's just that's how teams have won. So. Anyways, Nash would probably change it up a little bit, and he may be keeping Claxton in the drawer there because Claxton is available to come back to play. But we're getting a little too deep with the Claxton defense. Let me backpedal here. Let's talk about something else.
Just finally, I want to point out Jason Tatum going for 60 on Friday night in that 32-point comeback deserves a little winner of the weekend nod here. And you saw maybe after, wow, it is storming here in Atlanta. I don't know if you just heard the thunder there. I don't know if it was me or
Stream
coming
team
through.
keeps saying, is Trey broadcasting from the dark? Kinda.
Yeah,
it's really dark out here. Supposedly there's a tornado warning going on.
Yeah, I just got that on my phone. Yeah, I was surprised that we're all still here, to be honest. I was like, somebody's Wi-Fi is going to be going on here in a second. Some tree's going to be falling and taking out the signal. But anyway, Tatum, 60. Lee, are you okay? Because I saw people tweeting this into us over the weekend. What's the minimum number of points scored that you're all right with a guy holding up a sheet of paper that has the number of points scored on it? Because Tatum had that photo. We don't have it here for you. Sorry, JD. I should have grabbed that. But he's got the 60 on the piece of paper. Is that the minimum? Is that okay? Or do you need more? Like, where do you fall on that?
60 still seems like 40 these days is no big deal. 50 people are like, oh yeah, you got a 50 piece. Nice. 60 is still that like, okay, that guy was balling. That guy was balling in the game. The thing is, so this is the only thing. He tied Larry Legend for the Celtics record is only 60, which is kind of surprising. I thought at some point someone would have had more than that. So I'm going to say if it's a franchise high, or a tie, I guess, with a legend like Larry, that's fine. Then you can hold it up.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I don't mind that. So, like you're saying, if Anthony Davis goes for 68 in a Lakers win, he should not be holding up a piece of paper that says 68 on it because
he can go for 80.
Kobe's.
No paper.
Yeah, because Kobe got 81. So
I don't mind this. I hadn't thought about this.
That's Kobe. It's the Lakers, so it's a franchise with a ton of history there. So I'm not sure what the Grizzlies record is, but if Ja Morant holds up, let's say it's a 57, it's like, okay, that's establishing some history there with the Grizzlies. But yeah, it's I saw that. It's like, it is interesting. I don't know what that is, but I think I think franchise record is where it starts anyway.
Okay. Even if it's in overtime, you think that's still fair?
If it's in overtime, somebody in the corner of that piece of paper should have to put bracket OT bracket,
or just an asterisk in the corner.
Yeah, something. Just note it, just for posterity.
Yeah.
Unsure if Brian Scalabrini's son is watching right now. I do see Brian Scalabrini Jr. in the stream team. I think it's a fake, but I will say that I love when a Celtic is on fire to be watching a Celtics broadcast and just hear, sheesh. Jeez. Because sometimes there's just not something you can say. It was happening in the Celtics game last night. Tatum was like pulling up and hitting some crazy 3-pointers in the first half. I think they said he had 20 points and a half, 4 straight halves going back to the game against the Hornets prior to the Spurs game. But yeah, Scal was hitting us with some serious sheesh. Jeez. I love it.
Guy went for 60. So good on Tatum there. Okay, let's go to the losers of the NBA weekend. Lee, get us started.
Well, it's basically the San Antonio Spurs. 32-point lead they had. They were looking great, looking very comfortable, and they gave it back pretty easily. It got to overtime, but then they couldn't close that out. And Tatum again hit those 2 free throws to give him the 60. So I think if you give up a 32-point lead, it's hard to sugarcoat that. And then again, they had a chance last night against the Sixers, but surprisingly rested some players. I alluded to it earlier. I sort of thought Pop might have been like, all right, I know we need to rest guys, keep them fresh, but we've got to make amends for such a poor loss on Friday night. And instead they didn't, but they did battle and nearly pulled out the victory anyway. But Simmons got the tip in. So now the Spurs, this is the thing. They remain 2.5 games up on the Pelicans, who actually won a couple in a row here. 2 in a row they've won, and the Spurs have lost 3 straight. But this is the Jazz's run. This is the Spurs run home. Jazz twice on the road. Blazers, Blazers, Kings, Bucks, Nets, Knicks, and end with 2 home games against the Phoenix Suns. Now, obviously, those last 3 or 4 games, teams could be resting and trying to jockey for position a little bit, so they're probably safe. But if the Pelicans can string together a couple of wins here, that's a murderer's row of opponents there for the San Antonio Spurs. They have to keep on. They have to win at least sort of 4 of those games against opponents that might themselves, like Brooklyn and Milwaukee, maybe, and trying to get that top spot in the Eastern Conference. If they are going for it, it's going to be so tough for them. So, yeah, 2 in a row, starting with the first 2 in Utah. So the window, the door, whatever analogy you want to use for the Pelicans, it is a tiny bit open. It is a tiny bit open, but they
don't they play the Warriors like 3 times still too?
The Pelicans, I believe that is right. Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Marble night tonight.
Oh, right.
This is the biggest game in the universe tonight.
Oh my goodness, I forgot about Marvel Night. That's tonight on a Monday night.
I don't know. Is it? It's
no, it's May 3rd. You're right.
No, it is May 3rd. Marvel Monday.
Oh, weird. Okay, so yeah, So the Pelicans, you're saying, have a small chance here, Lily. You still believe?
We pretty much. I think you tweeted one of the standings. Last week you said it's pretty much over, and it looks like it is. Yeah. It still looks like you'd rather be the Spurs than the Pelicans from here, but man, they've got a tough schedule from here. Yeah. So a chance for the Pels if they stay healthy and keep winning.
Okay, Spurs. That's an obvious one. I think we've already sort of talked about the Lakers 2 tasks. I think we can very easily put them into a loser of the weekend situation. But is there another team that jumps out to you?
Well, the Mavericks, part of that 3-way tie in the 5th, 6th, 7th seed there. They're trying to stay out of the play-in tournament that they hate, that Luka says he's hated, and Mark Cuban says he's hated. Well, they've got 8 games left in the regular season, and the worrisome part is they could miss Luka for one of those games because he has too many technical fouls this season. You get to 16 Ts on the season, you get suspended for a game. And against the Kings on Sunday, he got 2 more, bringing him up to 15. So he just needs 1 more. And I think there's a chance that one of those is rescinded. They're going to appeal to the league and say, hey, can a guy throw a ball off a stanchion? Is that cool? Does he have to get a technical foul for that? Or does the referee not like the color of Luka's eyes because he just looked at him and got a technical foul for that when everybody was getting tossed at the end of the game, including Carlisle? So it's getting pretty close down to the wire. Yeah, they need every win. And their schedule, definitely one of the easier schedules, but still, they need Luka out there. It's wild to see that the last 9 games, the Mavs have won 6 of them, and the 3 losses have been to the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah,
all
that's insane.
All 3
Very
to the
weird.
lowly Kings. So they're done with the Kings for the season. So now they can just go win every other game. But yeah, the Luka watch is important, and it changes going into the playoffs. It's a new, fresh slate of text going into the playoffs. So those rules don't apply. If he does get into the play-in tournament, he can't be suspended for the play-in tournament, I guess, or the playoffs. That's a new bracket. So yeah, it's the Luka watch is on, but I think he'll get one rescinded today after all is said and done. But he's still close. He's still in the break.
Right. If you were, would you bet on him missing a game here down the stretch? Like you said, 8 games left. Because let's say they do rescind one. I'm sort of with you on that. I feel like that could happen. I don't know. Would you put money on him still picking up 2, I guess, more and actually missing a game? Or will he really keep himself under control with obviously all these games mattering so much in terms of playoff seeding?
Yeah. Luka or the field? I'm taking the field. I don't think he gets another one at all. They're not. He complains for sure.
He complains a ton.
Yeah. And Zach Lowe pointed that out earlier this season. And Mark Cuban, was that he doesn't know what he's talking about. And it's like, but he does. Luka has always, and it's always that he's like, what's going on? What's going on? And so I think that does just wear down the officials after a while. That's what it is. It's like, you can't complain on every single call. Luka's great. He's a fantastic player, but he does constantly get in the ref's face. So it's going to be tough for him to sort of change that way that he expresses himself, knowing how close to the line he is for getting a suspension.
He speaks with his hands. The refs don't like that. I mean, that's what they look at him. Like yesterday was a staring tech.
Yeah.
To eject him from the game.
Don't look at me.
It was like maybe a beat too long. It was a look over and it was like boom, boom.
Don't look at me. Yeah.
You give me 2 seconds of a look, but that's too much. Like I guess he was just looking at him for a little too long. And yeah, again, like if you're not with our YouTube, Lee just, he did the imitation of what Luka does all the time. He throws his hands up, he looks at the ref, and the refs are American. They don't like this Euro stuff happening. Don't look at me like that, Luka.
Trey, do you think he'll play nice here over the last 2 weeks?
Okay, so I think the second tee will get rescinded. So he's got 2 to play with really here.
Yeah.
And my guess is that he won't pick up technical foul number 16 until the Mavericks are locked into whatever seed they are. But he's going to get another one, but he's going to miss a game that ultimately doesn't matter with regards to seeding. I don't know exactly how that's going to work out, but it's tough to just turn off the faucet like that. If you're used to reacting like that after every single play, which Luka does, it's hard to just stop. Tim Duncan used to react like that after every single play, and that was okay as well. Like, it just once you've established yourself, and Luka is getting there, we think he's established because he's certainly an MVP candidate and he will be in the future, but he's still just in his 3rd year. Hasn't really done a whole ton in the NBA. As he continues to gather that respect, he'll get away with even more complaining. Great stuff.
Hey, hypothetical. If Luka were to pick up his 16th tech in the final game of the regular season, would he miss game 1 of the playoffs? Does it carry over into the play-in? Like, let's say the Mavs were 7th. Like, is he sitting that out? You imagine that?
I think it'll go next year, probably.
I think that's what it is.
Okay.
But it's a fair question. I was thinking the same thing.
Okay. I think you are right. Maybe it does go over to a game 1 of next season, because that would be insane if that's when he got tossed or picked up his 16th tech even, and then he wouldn't be playing in a hypothetical play-in game. It would be crazy.
I made a virtual bet here with 4 morning poops in the stream team. He said, Tess, I'll bet you $20 during a future happy hour that Luka gets suspended before the playoffs. You're on 4 morning poops.
Okay.
You are on.
All right. So you're obviously saying he won't miss a game due to suspension, technical suspension.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Man, Tess is just trying to make money here from everybody this season. I love it. Trey, loser of the weekend. Who you got?
Biggest loser of the weekend, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Biggest loser of the season, technically, on Saturday. Lost by 57 to the Pacers. That Heinz 57 sauce. Worst loss in the league since 2018, the Thunder had, and there were some crazy things going on in this box score. Domantas Sabonis hadn't played in basically 2 weeks. He came back and had a triple-double in the first half, joining only Russell Westbrook and Nikola Jokic as players to triple-double in the first half since 1998. Doug McDermott scored 16 in the first quarter. He finished with a career-high 31 points. But my favorite thing from this blowout is that the Pacers were up by 67 with 4 minutes left, looking like they might set the record for biggest win ever, 68 points. But then the Thunder scored 10 straight in the fourth, got the lead back to a respectable 57. All in all, 152 points for the Pacers, the most they've scored since joining the NBA in 1976. Meanwhile, the Thunder have lost 20 of their last 22. They're 6-23 since the All-Star break. This is elite tanking by the Thunder. A 57-point loss. Unbelievable.
Yeah, they are right behind, I say behind, the Magic there when you're looking at tankathon.com there this morning in terms of like helping their chances to even a little bit more to get the number 1 seed, because the Magic are the 4th, worst team record-wise, and then you got the Thunder sandwiched in between the Magic and the Cavs there. It's very, very tight here. So, I would assume the Thunder will keep leaning into losing all these games, but man, they're like... It's one thing to lose by 10, 15, 20. Another to lose by 57 at home, wasn't it? That was a home game.
Yeah, it was at home, yeah.
God,
yeah.
That's just... are they allowing fans in the building for that crap?
They only lost by 3 last night to the Phoenix Suns.
That's true. It's true.
But yeah.
Okay. Our final loser of the weekend. I was curious if Trey was going to touch on it, but he went with the Thunder, so I'll do it. Got to say the Bulls are a loser of the weekend because 2 losses this weekend. Bucks and the Hawks. Look, good teams, obviously, but still, the Bulls they're maybe done. They're possibly done here. They are 3 games now behind the Wizards for that final play-in spot in the East. And it just sucks. Zach LaVine hasn't played since April 14th because of COVID-19 protocols. The Bulls are 4-10 in their last 14. It hasn't gone well since making that huge great move at the deadline to bring in another all-star and Vooch. And then this week, the Bulls are playing the Sixers. They're in Charlotte. They play Boston. And then they play the Pistons. So, at this point, they got to start going like 3-1 here in these weeks, if not 4-0 to like really have a chance of getting into the play-in tournament and catching either the Pacers or the Wizards. The Raptors, of course, did pick up a win against the Lakers last night. So they're a tiny bit better than the Bulls, but sorry, Trey, I had to do it to you. I'm thinking Chicago might be done. I think the Raps are a fit. I think they're actually done anyway as well, the zombie Raps. But the Bulls really cemented that, I think, this weekend, especially with the loss to the Hawks.
Thank you to the Chicago Bulls for allowing me to care about this season up until 10 games remaining. That hasn't been the case the previous 3 seasons. And Skeets, I don't know if you noticed, 19 points for Patrick Williams in his last game. He took 13 shots, man.
He did. Yeah,
things are really turning around. But it's over for the Bulls. I don't know if we'll even see Zach LaVine play another game this season. He's been out for 2.5 weeks at this point. Hearing Billy Donovan talk, he's saying, I don't know when he's going to be back. So I would not be surprised if it's not until next year, because the Bulls at this point, they're going to want to try and keep that pick. They want to get into the top 4 so that they don't have to convey it to the Magic.
Yeah, the Raptors do have a game left against the Wizards, so that's huge. Huge, but still 2.5 back. They're going to have to go on an awesome run here as the Thunder gods speak to us here in Atlanta.
Yeah, let's wrap this bad writer up here pretty soon.
Okay,
I'm going to have to be hitting the bathroom, I think.
Okay.
Not in that way. In a safety way.
Taking this Bulls loss very hard. Okay, so before we get to Tweet of the Night, we do have to hear from our sponsors. Lily, take it away.
CBD isn't about what you feel, it's about what you don't feel. Stress, anxiety, pain. Feels is a premium CBD that is designed to help keep your head clear and feel your best. It's hassle-free, delivered directly to your door. CBD can help reduce stress, anxiety, pain, and sleeplessness. There's no hangover or addiction. Place a few drops of Feels under your tongue and you could feel the difference within minutes. It's very important to remember that CBD is about finding the right dose for you, and everyone's dose is different. If you're interested in joining the Feels monthly membership, it's easy. You'll save money on every order and you can pause or cancel anytime. Start feeling better with Feels. Become a member today by going to feels.com/nodunks and you'll get 50% off your first order with free shipping. That's feals.com/nodunks to become a member and get 50% automatically taken off your first order with free shipping. Feels.com/nodunks.
I'm excited to tell you about a new podcast I think you're really going to love called Death at the Wing. It's a sports documentary podcast hosted by Adam McKay, writer and director of The Big Short, Vice, and Anchorman. Death at the Wing covers so much of the NBA's history. I have loved it, including the crack epidemic that affected the NBA, forgotten guys like Terry Furlow, who kicked Magic Johnson's ass at Michigan State. He was taking names with Magic Johnson, playing him one-on-one. That was a great story. Then he died in a car crash, forgotten guy. Great stories. The Len Bias story, learn new parts to that important part of NBA history, how his story affected how American laws were written and how that ties into our current president. This deep stuff. There's the ABA story with fans wrestling bears like it's semi-pro out there. The breakup of the original Balkan Bros before Jokic and Doncic. There was Divac and Petrovic. And tune in to hear our friend Zach Lowe as an expert on the pod. It's a full pod. You're going to enjoy it. It's a great listen. Search for Death at the Wing wherever you get your podcasts to start listening.
All right, let's get to tweet of the night.
Tweet of the night. Wow.
Twitter.
Tweet of the night coming to you from @_nope name from the Dishes and Dimes pod. Like Cottonelle, they on a roll. StatMuse was made for all of this shit. What is she talking about? Oh, StatMuse coming through with the stats and the graphics last night. Lowry versus the Lakers, 37 points, 11 assists, 8 3-pointers made. The Lakers really refused to trade Horton Tucker for him. Ooh, whoa. They weren't done. StatMuse kept going here. Lowry made 8 threes versus the Lakers. No Laker has hit that many threes in a game this entire season. My goodness, what's going on here with StatMuse? They weren't done. Lowry has made more threes tonight than Horton Tucker in his last 12 games. He's only had 7 over that span. They would trade Horton Tucker for this guy. And then finally, the Lakers are 1-6 since Vivian went missing. Turns out they went missing too. My goodness.
Love it.
StatMuse. Incredible stuff there. That was a last-second addition here to tweet of the night. I had to slip that in, Tass. I couldn't believe it. They were taking shots. Whoa, my goodness.
Wow.
I guess that Marvel game is tonight. Thor is almost here.
Oh, the God of Thunder has arrived.
I also want. Yeah, go ahead.
I think I heard that in my house, and I heard it through my headphones. It's that freaking loud. I'm hearing it in your guys' houses too.
Yeah. Also, this I just saw coming through on Twitter, and I had to share it because we're talking Marvel here. It's from @_Martel. And it says there, and we can just go full screen on this bad boy here. Hey, No Dunks, I know you mentioned this event before, but why did no one tell me that Tass Mellis is filling in as Doctor Strange? That looks a lot like Tass. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, especially like a morning Tass when the hair's a little floppier, perhaps.
Yeah.
Or maybe even that one day Skeets when you were having a really like 1940s hair day with a nice wave to the side of it.
But if Tass let the hair, droop down a little bit more. Looks a lot like you.
Okay, if we were still doing the starters, this would be a Halloween costume, Dr. Steven Silas, but he would be half Rockets coach and half Stephen Strange.
You're absolutely right. Okay, so we're starting up a new little mini pick'em battle here. I think we decided we're going to make the loser give some money to charity. Let's just keep it simple like that with this one. I do owe 2 payoffs still. So we'll probably get to those a little bit later on when we got a little bit more time. But these are brought to you by BetMGM. So we'll start it up here just May. Got a couple weeks, Tass. What's tonight's game?
How about this one? The Lakers at home to the Nuggets. Denver's favored by 2.5, so they have to win by 3 in LA. LA coming off a back-to-back. That loss we just talked about with Kyle Lowry, embarrassing them. What a wild game that was. And they need a W. You know, LeBron coming out and voicing his displeasure with the play-in tournament after that game. And now they get the Nuggets in town, who are absolutely flying 9-1 since Jamal Murray went down. So close line, Denver minus 2.5. This is a tough one to pick. Who's got a feel? Anybody? I'll open the floor.
I'll go first. I feel we're due for a LeBron just like, I'm going to destroy a team, get a win game. But he might not even play tonight because he kind of picked up a bit of an injury last night. So I'm going to stay with the Nuggets. They're flying. I think LeBron probably sits out tonight.
Wow. Yeah. So he missed the last 6 minutes. They said his ankle was sore.
Yeah.
Or did they just shut him down because they were sort of getting their ass handed
16.
to them?
I think it was 16 points when they decided to call it quits.
Yeah.
Skates, who you got?
I'm going Lakers. Put me down as LeBron playing. Angry LeBron. You know, the Nuggets are awesome. Don't get me wrong. But Lakers getting points here. They are playing for something. I mean, they don't want the 7th seed. So, I'll take the Lakers.
Trey?
I'm the same. Give me the Lakers. Tiny little underdogs, which is nice. And I feel like when LeBron says something, he really wants to show up for the next game. So hopefully he got his gaming chair in and is ready to go tonight. Give me the Lakers.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I don't know who they start on Jokic because I'm thinking about Anthony Davis because we're all talking about LeBron and how he's come back and they're 0-2. But Anthony Davis has come back and he's looked quite poor. Like he just hasn't looked like himself at all. So I think he's got to turn it around. I'll take the Lakers, and I think LeBron plays. For some reason, they really don't want to play in that play-in tournament. So they got to win at some point, and their schedule is tough. So looking forward to this one. Should be good.
Yeah. Okay. So 3 of us taking the Lakers plus 2.5. Lily rolling with the very hot Denver Nuggets. Probably a smart pick there. They only got to win by 3 or more. All right. That's it for us. We got to get out of here. We got to get to the get downstairs, get in the get in the bathroom, like Trey said. It is tornado watch. It is thundering like crazy out here. Crazy Atlanta storm. We're okay, though. Like, comment, subscribe to No Dunks on YouTube. Email us your questions for the next Speech Step and podcast, nodunks@theathletic.com. Grab your No Dunks merch at nodunks.com and subscribe to The Athletic. Go to theathletic.com/nodunks. Tomorrow, guys, special guest. NBA analyst Seth Partnow is going to join us on tomorrow's podcast here at 10 a.m. to share some of the craziest stats from this season, like the wildest and weirdest stats. He's going to take us through that. That's his expertise. So Seth will join us tomorrow. We'll obviously talk about tonight's games. You know, we might have to do a deep dive on this Marvel game, JD. So that's your homework tonight. Really, come prepared with your Marvel notes from this Warriors-Pelicans game tonight, okay?
Oh, yeah. I've got it blocked off on my schedule. I can't wait.
Excellent. Excellent. Who will save the universe tonight? Steph Curry or Zion Williamson? I can't wait to find out. Guys, thanks so much for joining us, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, don't email JD during the Marvel game tonight. His schedule is blocked off.
Embrace the day, people.
You could stay